Hello to everyone showing up, and I'm excited to be here. I am in my car because my schedule has done its own thing today, but that is not going to stop our show. Again, I really appreciate being able to show up for myself, because this is just as much of it is for me as it is for you. So welcome into the space. If you don't know, my name is Lahuez. I am a multifaceted creative and the head operations manager for the Eve Restoration Network. And one of my go-to passions is teaching multifaceted creatives and those just gifted with amazing innate abilities on how to harness their own power, on how to accept all of themselves, on how to embody and practice authentic expression, and then how to take all of that and use it to support themselves and outside of the system. So pull you out with a strong arm from the 9-to-5 energy and assist you on your journey to your heaven on earth is one of my passions. I have been successful. I have been successful with myself, and I have been successful with others, and so I am a success. I needed to proclaim that because I'm hard on myself, and it's not very often that I actually take the time to review my own success, pat myself on the back. For example, in this very moment, I am tired. You know, you could see the heaviness under my eyes. I would definitely be resting right now. It's currently 10:06, but I wanted to make sure I showed up. You know, I want to be able to create a currency. I want to be able to commit to what I say that I will do, so that the universe can count on my consistency to support me in my endeavors. So thank you guys for being in the space, because you are bearing witness to the same. Our last meeting, and this won't be too long, but our last meeting was on Monday. And Monday we were highlighting 3 different very important points that we needed to clarify. We needed to gain clarity on in order to kind of build from there. And I asked you guys 3 questions that you needed to know before you decided to actually become studious about changing your life, about choosing your heaven on earth. You know, I know most of us want to, I know most of the ones like me, I know that we want to we want to set it on fire. We just want to stop. We want to stop, and we want to say fuck it and receive a couple million in the bank and go and fulfill our dreams. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. In fact, it's even possible. And so, you know, I'm here to help. I have had the experience, the experiential knowledge, the willingness, the source connection, and the intuitive intelligence to be able to guide myself through that. And so it is a part of my service to assist you guys. Please forgive the tiredness in my eyes. I'm showing up anyway. We're gonna get some good rest, though, don't worry. All right, so on Monday, I asked you guys 3 questions, and I'll just put them out there again for newcomers. The first one was, who are you? Ensuring that you understand that any type of title that you place on yourself is in a box. It's contained. But the true essence of what you are is uncontainable. So when I ask that question, that is me helping you to go inside to realize that you are whatever you decide to be whenever you decide to be, just like the I am. I am that I am. Whatever I feel and desire to be in that moment is what I have the capacity to embody, is what you are. So that was one of the questions and one of the topics that we went over on Monday. I will post that video on YouTube because we had a great time. The second question was, what is your foundation? Understanding that we are taking an upward spiral in our spiritual, metaphysical, physical journey. And so as we're taking this upward spiral to and through our own energy, we sometimes have stops, pole points. And so what you land on, just like a bird, when you go out and you soar and you adventure, you still need to come down to something. You still need something to land on. You know, you can't stay up in the clouds. So having a solid foundation is what will hold you while you are elevating. And that solid foundation is built by your absolutes. It doesn't have to be a physical foundation. In fact, the best type of foundation is one that is irremovable, which is within you, which is your constitution. So your foundation should be your constitution, what you stand by, what has formed who you are, what you not only believe but trust, what you determine to be your 100%, your absolute from within. Because nobody can touch that, nobody can take that away from you, and only you are the one to be able to authorize amendments, addendums, so forth and so on. And so while you take your journey upward, while you take your yellow brick road, it is you and the divine that you are directly connected to that has the say-so about what is and is not. And that becomes your foundation. It holds you every time, no matter what happens. No matter what happens. No matter if there is no money in your pocket, no matter if you end up leaving all of the people that you love, no matter if you go through your own personal apocalyptic experience, your absolutes, your foundation will hold you. Remember, I'm speaking to you guys from experiential knowledge. I look very happy and in one piece, but I promise you, we've gone down there. And I have been very happy to have come right back up. And what held me was my absolutes, knowing for certain that I am directly connected to the Most High. I am directly connected to Source, and everything I need is absolutely provided for. And everything I desire is absolutely attainable. And every chance I get, I have the power to positively impact my energetic frequency. And that relationship, that absolute, gives me more than what I need to come up from any experience. And it's not just mantra, it's lived truth. And so the lived truth that you want to have in order to build your foundation is something that you can only attain once you jump off that ledge, once you pull yourself out of the environment that's been keeping you comfortable and keeping you in this cyclical hellhole, you know, that's been siphoning your energy but not giving back to you at all. At all. What's been keeping you disconnected from the divine intelligence that runs through you all the time, making you think that there is something above you. The third question was, what is your confidence in? And this may sound similar to the foundation, but it's different for a very important reason. Your constitution is something that you construct. You and the divine within you, and your experience and your experiential knowledge and your intuitive wisdom and things, y'all come together at the round table and you proclaim your constitution and you sign off on it, and that becomes your absolute while you're taking your journey, and it's only becoming amendable by you and the people at your table, right? But your confidence is something different, because the elements of your constitution are a co-creation. Your confidence is you. What is your confidence? Meaning, I was once a Jehovah's Witness. I was once a Seventh-day Adventist. I was once non-denom. I was once Islam. You know, so my constitution has been amended time and time again, and what I looked to assist me in my co-creation has shifted phases and faces time and time again. But what I was able to trust in all of that had to be myself. So realizing by asking yourself what you are actually confident in will point you right back to yourself. So who are you? What are you? What is your foundation? And what are you confident in? So before you make any moves to remove yourself from what you're experiencing and to build a new life for yourself and to hop into magic and the ever-expanding beautifulness of the life that is right there at the outside of the door that you have been shelled into, ask yourself these 3 questions. Because you don't know what's outside the door, but once you step outside of it, you have signed up for everything else that comes. So you want to be as prepared as you can from within for that journey, okay? That's why I'm here to tell you. You don't have to make the same mistakes I did. You don't have to go through all of the turmoil that I went through. You don't have to meet the darkest depths of who you are. You can bypass. I can give you one of them speed, you know what I'm saying, like put you on the elevator kind of team. So yeah, that was Monday. And then at the end of our Monday session, I gave you guys a keystone. A keystone, first of all, let me speak about what the keystone actually is. So I wrote a book to assist multifaceted creatives in this journey, and it's called The Keystone: 7 Steps to Transform the Creative into a Self-Sustaining Entrepreneur, right? But it's modeled off of what happens within the human body, specifically the keystone bone. If you go straight through your frontal, right in this space, you see where your brows do this? It does that for a reason, because your outside is a representation of the inside. So right here, there is a stage. And if you go into your brain right here, maybe 3 to 4 inches back within, you'll meet your keystone bone. And on that is like a platform like this. And on that keystone bone, right above it is a little bit of space, and then you have your pineal gland and your pituitary gland right above it. And so what happens is, with the authority within you, you can do this with or without tone, but a lot of people, to activate it, they use tone. They'll hum, or they'll just activate a certain part of their conscious thinking patterns to be able to vibrate that keystone bone. And what that does is it shakes off the calcification of your pineal gland, and it allows you to tap into the absoluteness within your divine intelligence, right? And so if the whole goal is for you to set yourself free from what you're experiencing, you absolutely need to know how to access your power. And so the keystone that I left you guys with on Monday said, to access your power, you have to know that you have it. In order to access your power, you have to know that you have power. Northern California representative checking in from the San Francisco Bay Area. I share. I can't wait for us to assemble with our top hats, if you know what I mean. You know, we will be called to the forefront very soon, and so I feel very happy to be honoring that calling and following all the instructions. So What's up, so yeah, that was the keystone for Monday. So now that we've gotten Monday out of the way with the 3 questions that we talked about, and then also the keystone, remember I will post that video to YouTube, just a little FYI. So it is a little intense. I was feeling very under oppression that day, so there was a lot of authentic expression coming forward. Yeah, I would be more than happy for you guys to go and check that out and give yourself that. So today is day 2 of our crash course, and I'm realizing that if I don't sit here and do this for like 2 or more hours, I will not be able to crash course cover the basis of it. And so I'm glad that I'm doing this now, because it's putting me in the know-how of how to compile the energy. Compile the energy. I was gonna say information, but energy came forward, so I'll honor that. All right, so day 2, I have another total of 3 questions plus a keystone. So what we're gonna do, let me run through. Thank you so much. Let me run through, make sure if you guys have, thank you so much. If you guys have questions about anything, please feel free to ask. I want there to be engagement in the room, because I don't mind stopping and providing further insight. You know, I don't want to just be up here talking. I want to feel like we're in the room together. All right, so the first question for today. Okay, so we jumped from Monday, where we were talking about the foundation and things, and now we're in today. So let's just imagine that you covered those 3 areas, right? And if you need to, guys, write this down, because this is like a real road that we're paving out for you. So in order for you to get to the steps that we're talking about today, you had to have gone through those steps that we did on Monday. Okay, so at least write them down, or just put a note in your phone to remind you to go and check out the video on YouTube. I'm going to do my best to upload it tomorrow. So now that you've figured out who you are, what your foundation is, and what your confidence is in, now we can look at yourself again and decide, or figure out, or honor, right? Honor what you're made of, what makes you special. And I know that sounds very kindergarten. You know, what are your gifts? What are you special at? But it's so happy. And it's happy for a reason, because all ancient texts, all of them, okay, all of them tell us the same thing, which is your childlike spirit is the one that prevails. Even in movies where like there's this super villain, right, and then these kids are the heroes. The kids are the heroes because they could care less about the intensity of the super villain, and they're just like killing all these, I don't say killing, but destroying all these bad guys with bubbles and, you know, the whole thing. So embracing your childlike energy is what allows you to tap into the strongest pinpoint of your power. That's where all of it is, because in there is where you feel the totality of your creativity. If you consider yourself to be a super something, how else are you going to come up with all of the beautiful ways in which you can engage your environment if you can't even tap into your creative vortex? So you have to get re-familiar with your inner child, re-familiar with the part of you that has not been adulterated. So what makes you special outside of what you've gone to school for, outside of who you think that you are in the world? When you sit with yourself and you feel the first thing that comes to heart about what you want to do with your creative energy, about what you want to do with the smile that may or may not be on your face, about what you want to feel from within, what is that telling you? I'll use myself for example. Me, I am an all-around, and this is why my life has been so funny. I am an all-around creative. I draw, I sculpt, I paint, I make jewelry, I play and do hair, I'm in business consulting. I've been administrative superpowers for private banks and multi-million-dollar corporations. I'm an actress. Like I'm a singer. I'm into sports. So there are so many things that I can do and be great at. So figuring out how to umbrella all of them, honor all of them, and then bring them all to the outside as a service has been my life's work. And it has enriched me. And that's why I can sit here and like do all of this and like just feel so cute and like reach down inside myself and make my world do whatever I want it to, because I have honored all of my child. Every day I refuse all of what is outside. So what makes you special? What makes you happy? If you could refuse, if there was no war ensuing in your world, and if you had a clean canvas to remake your entire life, to remake all of your relationships, to remake how you look, what? One of the cool things that we were talking about on Monday was our ability to adopt, embody, and terraform our physical bodies into whatever we desire, because the coded information is already written within us. So literally, if you don't want to look the way you look, you absolutely have the authority and the ability to shift and change that. And when I say things like that, our rational and logical minds say, okay. But I'm very serious. From a very young age, I used to, and I said this on Monday, you'll see it in the video if you go check it out. From a very young age, I used to look at my hands, like just observe my hands for like long periods of time, just staring at them until I could change the vibratory frequency of it. And it starts, my sisters used to watch me do this, till it starts shaking and losing its physical form, because I'm vibrating it intentionally, because I can feel my ability to utilize my hands for my divine will. You know, your right hand is your right hand for a reason. Your left hand is your left hand for a reason. I went to school, if you would, higher education rooms, to be able to affirm my inner knowing with academia about all things metaphysics and all things psychology and all things energetic science. Okay, so just to affirm what I already knew and felt from within. So I'm telling you, not only has science done its best to confirm that not only are we encoded with every other element outside of us, but we have the ability to tap into that and terraform into that with enough intention and willpower. That's why you see, we were talking about in the video, you see like animated characters like Ben 10. He's got the watch, right? They got to give you some type of form that says that that's the power, but no, he's already encoded with the technology and information to be able to embody and terraform into his desire. We have been duped into buying Wendy's. So the first question that I want to ask you guys is, what makes you special in trueness, without doubt associated with it? If you could create your own animation, what would you be? Truly write that down. If this is not the room for you, if you're not interested in actually following up with action and heart energy and juice to go to work, because I'm talking about going to work. I'm not wasting my time. Like I said when I came on, I would love to be sleeping right now, but I cannot check out until I check off all of the things on my list that I said I would show up to do, because I'm creating a currency that is turning into generational and cosmic wealth. I'm not playing with y'all. So write this down. Be for real about it. Okay? It matters. The more that we positively impact our reflections, the sooner we can all co-creatively live in our own heavens on earth. I can walk down or fly down or skip down or run down the road and see my sister's home space, her fairy goddess garden empire over there, and travel further down and see my brethren over here with the skyscrapers made of pine cones, like whatever the fuck is what's possible. And I want my real world to be fun. We deserve to. This is heaven. This is actually heaven. We literally have all of the elements that we need in order to do it. We just have to stop doing the things that steal those elements from us. Okay? So if you've written it down, we can go to question 2 now. Okay, question 2. So with what you know that you are, because you covered the first 3 questions in Monday. Who are you? What are you? What is your confidence? What is your foundation? And now, what are your gifts? What makes you special? What are you intuitively good at? What is your heart's desire? What do you want to do with what you've been given? What do you want to do with your natural design? And here's the beautiful thing about it. What you decide that you want to do right now is not, and this is beautiful, okay, trust me, it's not going to be what you end up doing. Not in totality, not in the culmination of the entire growth. Your step 1 desires are meant to be your step 1 desires because they're the closest thing that your heart can reach that's actually going to get you to make the step. Okay, so when you listen to your heart and you listen to that first calling, that first desire, you're gonna take that step, and whatever happens after that step, whether you're falling off a cliff and gotta learn how to fly, or whether some divine angel takes your hand and takes you on a beautiful journey, whatever the case may happen, at another point, who you have explored and discovered yourself to be is going to be completely different from the person that you were when you first decided today. What you want to do with yourself is going to be very different. So allow for things to evolve, because you're taking this jump of surrender. You're developing a very intimate relationship with the unseen. Okay, yep. Monday we talked about ancestors. A lot of us don't know in totality what our ancestors, what on purpose, what our ancestors actually are. Sometimes we feel like our ancestors are the people in our family that have passed in recent generations before us. You are energetic essence dialed down into physical manifestation. And you are also the culmination of everything else in existence, which means everything else in existence came before you in order to make you, which means all of the things are in their right, divine and sentient, which means all of the other elements of our existence are your ancestors. And so that means that you can call on them externally and internally. Why internally? Because you're made up of it. You're made up of all of the necessary elements, minerals, beings, characters, ideas, structures, sacred geometries. All the things are already within and outside. So if you want to play with them inside to reform and concrete the world that you want from within, and then be consistent in that, creating a currency, then the outside elements will match the internal ones. And if you're really good, it might happen instantaneously and or overnight. All things are possible. And I'm telling you this from personal experience, not academic rhetoric. So, you know, what do you want to do with what you have? Because that is going to give you the first page of how you build the framework for how you move forward. And you know, disclaimer, because this is very important. I don't want you to feel like you're gonna put this framework together and you're gonna be able to follow the framework every day without interruption, and you're just gonna be going along with the flow and the system that you've put. That's not, you know how they say, and I don't really like using the phrase God, but you know how they say we tell God our plans, right? And he laughs. It's because your job isn't actually to put the plan together. Your job is to just show up to the calling that there is a plan. And so this is you saying, all right, well, let me help you. Can I help? Can I make sense of it? Because the more you make sense of it, the more you start connecting the wires of communication, so that you can start surrendering more and more, following instructions more and more, allowing for the journey to be taken the way that it's supposed to be more and more, instead of it being rigid in what you say, right? So putting this framework together is just you creating the relationship and the framework of how you need to start communicating with the divine within you. A light and a dark. Some days the illumination will be high. Some days you will be walking in the dark, but you'll be able to see because you'll have that communication connected. Okay? So what do you want to do? Honor that first calling. What do you hear when you first look at what you're made of and what you're awesome at and what you want to do with it, and sandwich them bitches together. Excuse my language. Sandwich them things together. Put them together. How does it make sense for the world that you're living in right now? Because believe it or not, we think that we're all living in the same world, but we're not. We're living in a conjoined, multi-dimensional, multi-filmed, multi-veiled experience. So you might be in a completely different space than me, but we're still connected. And so you're able to receive what I'm putting out. So how you see the world and how you're able to engage with it is going to be different from me. And that's why it's important for you to take this by your own accord, by how your framework is constructed. That's why it's just important for me to give you the instructions and allow you to, you know. Oh my God, I'm tired. Oh man, I just did. Yeah, what do you want to do? When I first started out, what? When I first started out, when I first started my yellow brick road, and I looked at what I was good at, I wanted to be the boss. I was coming from operating as a high-end manager for a private banking institution, and we were primarily working with international exports and imports. And I found, after looking at how amazing that I found that not only was I the inspiration for the majority of the upgrades and improvements of all of our operating systems, but I was actually the one sustaining all of our communications and our relationships internally and externally. And so it just helped me to realize, like, I'm naturally good at being your mama. It took me on a very long journey of experiencing and finding validation of, like, me naturally being the boss, but in the most nurturing and loving way, and sometimes to my own demise. Right now, here comes the element of self-love into your journey. Hold tight, okay? But yeah, I just wanted to be the boss, and I jumped right into the expression of being the boss. But again, I had not had the framework that I have now in order to ensure that I was jumping into something that was in my best interest. That's how I know how to tell y'all which questions to ask yourself prior to putting forth action. Because the heart, once you touch your heart, once you trust your heart, it'd be like, all right, let's go. And then you just throw yourself out there, and thank goodness, thank the divine, you are guided. You are divinely guided, protected, and provided for. Because, oh my goodness, I'm telling you, I should not be right here. They came for me. They came for me, for real kind. Like the theys that we always talk about, but nobody can ever pinpoint. They came for me. It's in my face. I'm trying to tell y'all, I've been like through the spaces, the multi-dimensional space. Oh my God, let me come back to center. So, honor wherever your heart is telling you to go. You are divinely guided. That's your fo. You are divinely guided, protected, and provided for. Those foundations keep you through everything that you experience. Numerology will teach you that 4, 4, and 4 is 12, which is absoluteness and action together, making a 3 of mind, body, spirit in alignment. So if this is resonating, and if you are in here with the desire to put forth action, no matter what it looks like, I'm not telling you to be the Fool card tomorrow morning with the stick in the backpack, okay? I'm just saying, if there's any kind of action that's following, put this in your pocket, that 444, your divine guidance, protection, and provision. If you are divinely guided, that means that you can trust wherever your spirit is leading you. Even if it leads you somewhere uncomfortable, trust that you needed to go through that uncomfortable experience to teach you what you need to know in order to make the conscious and wise decisions on your next steps, because you might be the necessary voice to support someone else, like I'm the necessary voice right now. Remember, it's not your job to know what you're supposed to be doing. It's your job to be obedient to the calling. How long have I been on my journey? Woof. So, with clarity and intentionality, 2020. With intuitive knowing since I was a child, very young, I was having they felt scary, honestly, because I didn't understand them. And then when I would vocalize about what I was experiencing, I was gaslit to hell. But yeah, I've been connected and communing and doing what I want to do from a very young age, but with maturity and divine intentionality, 2020 like shook all of us by the neck. Like, okay, I'm tired of playing with y'all. So yeah. 2023, and I moved quickly too, because like I said, I've been doing this for a very long time. All I needed was the academia to support my inner knowings, to give me the courage to be able to start implementing things to support myself and those around me. So in 2023, I constructed a restoration network that is intended to be global, to be able to support multifaceted creatives in coming out of the system, the 9-to-5, and being able to support themselves through their intuitive skill sets, in addition to creating ways that we can web ourselves together to create support systems in all of the areas that human beings need support. So community, health and wellness, resources, housing, food health, regenerative agriculture, so forth and so on. I created all of that. And if you want to look it up and even get involved, just go to eve.net, EEVH.net, 2 E's, 1 V, 1 H.net, and you can check it out all you want and share. So yeah. So question 1 of today, which is Wednesday, what are your gifts and talents? And then question 2, what is your heart's desire? Because I think that is absolutely my favorite question. What is your heart's desire? Because it changes, it evolves. So once you exactly at 10:44, the 1044, my family time. I'm talking to my family right now. Once you decide to marry the divine, you are absolutely free. You are sovereign in every sense of the sense. You are permissioned to do whatever the fuck, because you have divine guidance, protection, and provision. So whatever your heart desires, you have permission and allowance and resource to be able to do it. You just have to be able to stick with whatever you're asking for. Okay? It is an exploring situation. You know, it's not write a check, here's the money. It's like, okay. So yeah, to my family, I love y'all. Whatever you want to do, whatever your heart desire is, honor it. Even if you don't follow it, honor it with sitting with it and thinking about why it's there, and, you know, just introspection. Go into your own darkness. Figure out that you are the divine. You are a unique derivation of it. You are a snowflake of the water of life. And you are absolutely needed and seen and loved. And the ancients soar above you, whether you realize it or not, to love on you, to watch over you, and to provide you resources. Ooh. Question number 3. Are we ready for this one? Oh, this is a beautiful question. I love the way, okay, so these questions, if you guys were not here when I mentioned it, these questions are pulled directly from the book, The Keystone, 7 Steps, 7-Step Guide to Activating the Creative, the book that I wrote to support the network. And if you want a copy, you can follow the link in my page and get you a copy. You can buy the book, or you can buy 48-hour access to the book to be able to read it and be inspired in all the ways. And if you can't find the links, just DM me and I'll send it to you. So the third question, and then we're going to wrap up after the third question in the Keystone for tonight. The third question is, what does your time with nature look like? You know what? Okay, so I took the Purpose Development Program. So the Purpose Development Program is a program that I constructed inside of the Eve Restoration Network to walk creatives through everything I was talking about, right? But I took the Purpose Development Program and I not necessarily reconstructed, but I kind of condensed it and add like a ton of rainbows to it. And I took that program and I took it into the schools to be able to give it to the youngins, because I knew that they would be oh so very happy and excited about answering such rudimentary and elementary questions, because these questions are intentionally inspired to inspire the part of you that feels simple, that almost sounds insulting, but is absolutely needed in order for you to gain the absolute, the trueness of what it's really trying to bring out of you, the truth of you, right? So when I ask you, what does your time in nature look like? What do you say? Are you constantly irritated with the bugs? Are you holding one of those electric fans? Are you hugging trees? Are your shoes on or off? Are you looking up at the sky, laying down? Are you looking around you, trying to see if something is coming for you? Like, all of the answers to the questions are going to lead you somewhere. And in the book, you'll understand why you're being led by this question. Because remember what I said maybe 20 minutes ago in this call with you guys. Your unseen and seen ancestors and spiritual support team is in there, is in nature. They are a part of the natural elements of life. We have been removed from the natural elements of life, where the primary and first modes of communication have been constructed and are being held. So in order for us to get in touch with the parts that we need in order to save ourselves, because you are your own savior, right? You have to be the one in your matrix. Each of us are our own state of being. You are truly a plant it of your own. And you have been built within you with everything that you need to put yourself back into your natural state of being, to be in marriage with your family again, with your true community, with yourself, with the source of your being. You will never be satisfied if you're removed from that. So what does your time in nature look like? How do you feel with your family? How do you feel with where you're supposed to be? Why do you feel this way? What are you led to do in this space? What are you thinking about in this space? Is it feeding you and the desire of your heart? Are you afraid? Are you confused? Are you relieved? These are introspective thoughts, introspective questions, the ones that open the door and lead you down the pathways to truth. Absolutely necessary in order for you to what? Continue being founded by your Constitution, or make the necessary amendments. Because before you engage, now we're talking about sovereignty. Before you engage with anything outside of you, you are absolutely supposed to have a constitution. That's why our state, our nation state, our government is run by a quote-unquote sovereign who has put together a constitution, because it is required by universal law for every state of being to have a constitution, which is the absolutes of what they're founded by, in order to engage with anything outside of them, so that they can be held accountable by that universal law, by the other beings that they are putting in themselves in agreement with. We're talking about sovereignty now. Not only did I study international law, but I sat in the seat writing legislation. As a mother of a state, I have been placed in so many positions to prepare me for the position that's coming. I don't even know in totality what it's gonna look like, but what? Look, the camera's shaking up, cuz, man, it's coming through. Oh my goodness. Anyway. It's not my job to know the culmination of the story. It's my job to assist in writing it. And so I am a happy submissive to the divine. There have been times where I've sat with myself truly, like, I know too much. I know too much because it's robbed me of the ability to be normal. I have never been normal, but now I can't even fake it. Now, like, without, like, I cannot have conversations with people unless they are expansive. And it's not that I can't, it's that there is something happening inside of my heart and my mind together to make sense of what I'm experiencing with people when people talk to me. So I'm not having a conversation, I'm reading what is projecting itself towards me. And when I read naturally, for the sake of either honoring that or honoring myself and creating loving separate, or whatever the case may be, some people can pick up on that for sure. And they can feel seen, and they may not want to be seen, or they can feel uncertain about what they're experiencing when they're in communion with me. And it just creates like this very, it's difficult to explain, but a lot of times I don't even have to talk. Like, they'll avoid eye contact because being seen, like, you instantly energetically feel it when the person that you're dealing with is looking into the windows of your soul and not just looking at you and waiting for an opportunity to open their mouth. And those types of interactions, the ones that honor being seen, right? Because you're not afraid of seeing yourself. That's the power of introspection. You're not afraid of seeing yourself. You've already gone through all of who you are, and you've already lovingly accepted all of the aspects of who you are and who you have been in order to be confident in who you are in this very moment. And because you love yourself and you see that you are a reflection of everything outside of you, you get excited to engage. But not everybody's there, you know. And obviously I hold grace for that. No judgment at all. It's just something that naturally happens. So it naturally creates distance and makes just being in spaces with randos impossible. Impossible. Why did I say that? I don't know. But I'm excited for wherever your journey leads you. And you know, and I hope, I look forward to the day where not only am I paneling about the necessary information and conversations that we need to have, but I'm having real intimate conversations with people who want to dive into the uncomfortable, very deep, energetic exchange, you know? And it's perfectly okay to not know everything. I don't know everything. I am everything. But, you know, I have yet to forwardly discover all the things, is what I'll say. I'm so glad, alien superstar. Okay, come on, reflection. Whip. Come on. All right, keystone for tonight. Keystone for tonight. So, sum up all of what we talked. If you were here on Monday, take everything that we talked about on Monday and your notes and everything. If you're here today and you want to go back to Monday, take everything from today and Monday and sandwich it again together. And so the keystone for tonight is you alone. I know it's a couple of us on here, Mama, but when I'm saying I'm talking to you. You come with a unique variation of talents. Just like the snowflake I was saying before. You're a special derivation of the all of source. So you come with a unique variation of talents. Pay them your attention. That is the keystone. You come with a unique variation of talents. Pay them your attention. Your attention is actually your main medium of exchange, your wealth. Because with your attention, you're actually pulling from that keystone relationship with your pineal and pituitary, that vibratory frequency that connects to the rhythmic sound of life, to be able to pull that co-creative power from within you to create your internal and external world. So everything that you pay your attention to is actually growing, expanding. And if you want to stop, if you want to get out of what you're experiencing, stop paying everything else your attention and pay yourself your own attention. Put your energy back into your own vortex. If you've seen them, they go like this. They go in and then they come out the bottom and go right back in. And that's how they expand. Just like this. To infinity and beyond. I love y'all. We're coming back and we're doing another set on Friday. And I've just decided, so I put on the schedule, if you're here from the website, it's supposed to be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But because this is our third time doing the crash course and I'm realizing that I'm not going to be able to cover everything in the book in those 3 days, we're just going to perpetually continue until we get to the end of the book, summarized by our 3 question key points and our keystone for the day. So we're coming back on Friday to do our 3rd session with our 3rd keystone, and obviously we're going to do a summary of both day 1 and 2, which was Monday and Wednesday. I'm going to do my best to pull the information from this one and upload it to YouTube as well, so you have both Monday and Wednesday to review. Later, Gator. After a while, crocodile. And then be prepared for Monday. And again, if you guys want access to the book so that you can have everything that we're going to be discussing ahead of time, or you just want to feed your spirit with more of the information, because I'm intuitively flowing, okay? But the intentionality that I put into the book is there. Oh, here go TikTok. Yay, a YouTube. Just DM me if you want access to it, if you can't find it through the links in my bio. But I love y'all. I see the God in you because I know the God in me, and I am giving you my attention because I want to power your lighthouse. I am sharing my infinite abundance with you because you deserve it. You deserve everything that you imagine. You deserve all of the love and creativity that you feel as absolutes from within. You deserve all of the monies and all of the resources and all of the community provisions that you feel and can envision for yourself. You deserve to be able to build whatever you want, because this is your dream come true. This is your heaven. Don't let anything and anybody steal it from you. I'll see y'all on Friday. I share. Thank you so much. Hoo-ah. Oh, at 11:01. Come on now.